recognize the distinguished ranking member, Mr. Cuellar.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You've been to Texas. You've seen the border wall, the levee wall, so we have up there. When somebody's asking for asylum, don't they all have to do is just touch the riverbank?
Once they step on United States soil, Ranking Member Cuellar, they have a lawful right to claim asylum.
And since we have a 1,200-mile river, the fences that we have are not in the middle of the river, which is really the international boundary. They're not at the riverbanks, but they're actually a quarter mile or even longer away, correct?
In certain places, that is indeed correct.
Okay, thank you. Let me ask you, according to the numbers that I've seen from y'all, most of the drugs that we have coming in are coming through ports of entry. Meth, cocaine, fentanyl, up to 94% are coming through ports of entry. Is that correct?
With respect to the southern border, yes, that is correct. I believe it is our data, our intelligence and analysis demonstrate that approximately 90%, if not more, of the drugs entering the country through the border arrive through or smuggled in through the ports of entry.
So I certainly ask you that whatever monies that we added for technology, the non-intrusive, move on that as much as possible so we can have them not only at the ports of entry, but also in the Border Patrol checkpoints also. I would ask you to move those as soon as possible. And according to the U.S. Sentencing Commission, 86 to 87% of the people are smuggling drugs at the ports of entry or at the checkpoints are U.S. citizens, correct?
I'm not certain about the precise percentage, but I do understand that the data evidences that the majority are United States citizens.
The last numbers I saw were about 86, 87% U.S. citizens. Now, let me go back to, I'm a big believer in expedited, Title VIII expedited. What resources, I'll ask you again, like more asylum officers, space, do you need so we can do expedited removals under Title VIII?
Ranking Member Cuellar, in addition to additional legal authority, which we would have been provided under the bipartisan legislation, many more asylum officers, enforcement and removal officers in Immigration and Customs Enforcement, additional personnel, additional Customs and Border Protection personnel, additional facilities, and those are some of the highlights with respect to what we need. But underlying it is the additional legal authority that the bipartisan legislation would have delivered.
And we certainly want to provide you the funding. I just have to say this, Mr. Chairman. The two last appropriation bills where we added $1.4 billion to CBP, every single person on the other side of the aisle, except for two that are still in Congress, voted no for that extra money. This last appropriations bill, where we added the largest amount to CBP, I think less than half of the majority voted for funding. So we got to make sure that we all work together to do bipartisan funding to give you this. Now, the last question on expedited removal. Again, I believe in expedited removal, Title VIII. It was used very effectively when you were with the Obama administration under Secretary Jay Johnson. You said that the only way we can use CBP removal or Title VIII if they're under CBP custody. Would a monitoring system still be under CBP? And I guess you can't answer that, but I want you to think about it and go back to your attorneys to see if you can use Title VIII expedited removal because custody means probably under, ICE or CBP facility, but we do use monitoring, and I would ask you to see if you can look at that, whether that would be custody, which my opinion, I would say yes, and see if you can use Title VIII expedited removal. And again, anything that we can change the law, and I don't know what y'all are looking at, the executive order, but we do know that at the very beginning, a lot of those people don't qualify. They do not qualify, with all due respect. If they're hungry, they want a job, they want to come to the U.S. or the Chinese city on top of the hill, I understand that, but they don't qualify under the 5 persecution under asylum law. So we want to work with you. We want to supportive. And again, you have a very difficult job. There are so many opinions here. You get attacked because you do too much, or you get attacked for not doing enough. But I do want to say, I want to thank you for your service, and I want to thank the men and women that work on your department. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
God bless.
Cuellar.
Thank you, Mr. Cuellar. We now recognize Mrs. Hinson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary, last year when you came before this